A landmark deal between mineral resources is poised to significantly impact the geopolitical dynamics, especially the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Meanwhile, Germany's recent election results have left the political landscape fragmented, with the Christian Democratic Union and its Bavarian allies, the Christian Social Union, winning the largest share of votes. The country now faces a critical task, which is forming a new government. I'm Henny Saif. Let's get in focus. Both U.S. President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed recently that Kiev and Washington reached an agreement regarding Ukraine's critical minerals after an intense period of negotiations. According to the Kiev Independent, Trump said that the agreement gave Ukraine billions of dollars in aid and lots of equipment. He added that this deal gives Ukraine military equipment and the right to fight on, and originally the right to fight. Trump also said that Zelensky would visit the White House on February 28th to sign the deal. The newspaper added that the finalized agreement reportedly offers Kiev no security guarantees in exchange for 50% of revenues from the future monetization of Ukraine's state-owned mineral resources. And for more insight, we're joined from Kiev by Mr. Mykola Bastun, the political researcher. Welcome, Mr. Bastun. Now, Ukraine has recently agreed on the minerals deal with the U.S. How does this deal with the U.S. impact Ukraine's long-term relationship with the Trump administration, especially after a falling out between Trump and Zelensky?
Good evening. It is a great and a very significant event, even lately, despite disagreements between the new U.S. administration and the government of Ukraine and the President Zelensky. Following it, that the political or the American policy has changed following the new election for the president. The deal is constituting that likely solution of this agreement, an alternative of the previous approach practiced by the USA towards Ukraine. It is clear that the previous policy had come to an end, and now we are waiting of the steps or the shapes of the new policy. It is very important that the American concern of Ukraine to be independent of sovereignty. America is also concerned about the minerals and the exploitation of Ukrainian wealth from the land. All of that would constitute positive signals. Up till now, surely we do not know the details of the deals in the future. We only know the characteristics and the important features of the deal. And we also know that the Ukrainian president is planning to visit USA in the upcoming days, I guess on Friday, to discuss and sign the deal with President Trump. we will be knowing later on more details. But with respect to Ukraine, Ukraine's presence at stake. Fortunately, the matter is very critical, and it will be advancing in the front. And the
Well,
Ukrainian troops will be.
Mr. Bastoon, now Trump stated that as part of the deal, the U.S. will be supporting Ukraine with military equipment and they will have the chance and the right to fight on. So how does this deal affect Ukraine's position in the war with Russia in terms of the security, the military support from the U.S., especially after Trump was reluctant to continue to provide Ukraine with the military aid?
Yes, there are indicators and signals that the military aids will be shortened. And what is the applicable alternative for that? Firstly, to increase the American pressure upon Putin. Trump has repeatedly stated that saying in case Trump rejected the deal with Ukraine, so will practice great pressure. And there are different tools to do so. I think in the field of economy and military. This is first. Secondly, Trump is insistent in European countries that to more contribute in resisting Ukraine in the defense capability of Ukraine. In fact, we are witnessing that European countries have increased the funding Ukraine militarily. Therefore, in fact, it is very, or they are very concerned about assisting Ukraine in different fields, such as economy and military.
Sir, how will this deal affect Ukraine's future relations with Europe? Could this move isolate Ukraine or strengthen its alliances, especially given the ongoing peace negotiations between Russia and the US?
With respect to the isolation of Ukraine, I do not think that Ukraine is suffering isolation currently. That having good relations with several countries more than the Russian aggression to Ukraine, such as United States. And with respect to the mutual non-closing between America and Ukraine, that would constitute a great ties with America. As the American economic interest for Ukraine and vice versa, and as linked to the sovereignty and independence of Ukrainian and its presence.
One final question, sir. Now, despite the absence of any explicit or clear security guarantees, now Ukrainian officials are hopeful that this agreement will strengthen their military capabilities. Do you agree with this assessment, or is it too little too late for Ukraine?
I think it is early to do so. As I mentioned, we do not know the final scheme of such a deal. And we hope that the deal will be signed and to take into effect, but we should wait for these days to realize that the deal is taken into effect or signed. With respect to the fostering the military capabilities of Ukraine, fortunately, there is no great hope as such, but it seems that the new as president has no intention to increase the military support to Ukraine. But anyway, there are several points regarding the military support that for the other countries, particularly European country and the Asian country, I mean the South Korea, after the involvement of the North Korea in the Russian-Ukraine war. So this should more fostering Ukraine as such a development
yes.
would involve at large scale. But as I said, there are very critical and delicate points that cannot be replaced with others, particularly the systems of Patriot and the air defense, as well as its ammunition for such a system.
Yes.
As they
well,
are
we will be definitely following up on the details of this agreement between the US and Ukraine later on. That was Mr. Mikola Bastun, the political researcher. Thank you very much, sir, for your insights. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's move to the recent developments in Germany.
Transaktional.
The German election winners have started initial coalition talks with the SPD, but forming a functioning government is just one of Germany's many challenges, from the economy to Trump and the far right, as reported by The Local. The newspaper highlighted that with the rising cost of living, slow economy, job losses, and worries over migration and too much bureaucracy, people in Germany want change. The first challenge comes in trying to form a new German government, which Merz wants to achieve by mid-April at the latest. Additionally, even though the AfD had a strong showing, mainstream parties have a firewall in place against working with the party due to its far-right policies, so they will not be included in coalition talks. And for more analysis, we're joined from Paris by Dr. Majid Boudin, the international law professor. Welcome, Dr. Boudin. Now, with the increasing support for the far right, how should mainstream parties like the Christian Democratic Union and the Christian Social Union, along with the Social Democratic Party, address the concerns of the electorate to counter the rise of groups like the Alternative for Germany?
I mean, this coalition is the most probable coalition, and it will be materialized for a few reasons. The first reason is that the Christian Democrats have to exclude the AfD, the Alternative for Germany, which is for Deutschland, which is an extreme right party, because since the Second World War and since the fall of Hitler, nobody can accept in the mind, the culture of Germany, they will not accept such a party, which is under the control of the supervision of a constitutional institution, body, which is because this party is under scrutiny because it is developing ideology which is against the constitution of Germany. Even though it has gained around now 20% of the votes, it's still under this scrutiny for the protection of the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the Christian Democrats will not make any arrangement with this party.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the coalition will be built up by the Christian Democrats and the Social Democrats, and they have a lot of common grounds. They have three major files to tackle. The first one is the security and defense, all the foreign affairs, security and defense. The second is immigration, or let's say the second is economy, and the third is immigration.
Mm-hmm.
In these three files, there are common grounds. The Christian Democrats and the Social Democrats are very close because they have the same view to build up Europe, to build up the European Union, and they have the same views. They want to be the engine with France, of the European Union. They want to ease the European Union. They have pushed the European Union to change its bureaucratic system, and they will adopt this. They call it the omnibus directive. It means that they are going to change a lot of rules to ease the economy.
Dr. Boudin, if they won't be able to form an alliance with the Social Democrats, do you think that Mercer's deadline of mid-April by latest to form a government is a realistic one or not?
I believe that they will form the government because they don't need even a third party to form the government, but they will try to include the Green Party. So why they have a coalition with both of them. They have the majority. They have a shrink majority. They have a small majority, but they still have a majority. In this majority, you have 28.6% for the Christian Democrats and as a fall to 16.5% to the Social Democrats. So the Christian Democrat will impose this, and the Social Democrats cannot get out from this coalition because they are a party of government. Mm-hmm. We have to have in mind the culture of government in Germany after the Second World War, which is built up by coalitions. And the one who will leave the coalition, who will not participate in the coalition, he will have a sanction in the next elections. And the Social Democrats and Christian Democrats also, they think that they have they have a fear.
Yes. Well, Dr. Boudin, one final question, because we're really running out of time now. With the economic state of Germany, with the job losses, should this be the main concern and the main challenge for a newly formed government?
Yes, it's the major point and the major issue, because the target of the new government will be to reduce inflation, will be to have a better, a lower price for energy, and because they are cutting down the energy from Russia, they are now using energy from the US and from other parts, which is higher and which has damaged the profitability of the economy. So this is the main target, to reduce the price of energy. Yes. And then to increase the investment, because they want to renew the economy, which is dependent from exportation to China. So now they want to diversify their economy, and they need a lot of input, a lot of investment. And this investment will be a German investment and also an investment with the EU. Especially, they are going to put a lot of money in the defense, in the industry of defense, and the industry of artificial intelligence, and to diversify the industry in general.
Dr. Majid Boudin, the international law professor, thank you very much for joining us. Definitely a lot of challenges lay ahead of a new German government, and the details of the US-Ukraine deal along with the US-Russia negotiations, will be under the spotlight and the microscope for the coming weeks. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this episode of In Focus. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more here on Q News.